Right, welcome back to the channel. I haven't made a video for a while, so sorry for keeping people waiting, and thanks for everybody who's been subscribing over the last couple of months. So in today's instalment, what I'm going to do is rewire or re-pipe, air feed pipe, my differential lock. And there's another valve, it's just there, and the switch is on the top. That's the switch there. That one is for the fifth wheel slider, and we're going to re-pipe this switch, and this is for the passenger side window. So down, up, just about, because the air pressure's a bit low. Now, the reason why it's all been dismantled for the last couple of months is one of the pipes started leaking, so I dismantled that and then realised that it was the main feed, not only for the diff lock, but it also went to the diff lock, from the diff lock round to the fifth wheel slider, and then the same principle again from the fifth wheel slider round and came onto the air window switch. And I dismantled it. I was down in Texas, I dismantled it, and then suddenly realised my passenger window wouldn't go up and down, so I had to dismantle the whole lot and put a direct feed from the main air supply, which is these valves down here, from there straight up to the passenger window. And then it's been like that for the last 3 or 4 months now. So finally got round to repairing it. I've spent a ton of money on brass fittings because I didn't want to go down the line of having some big hoses made, because they're quite big and bulky, and there's a lot of things to rub and to sort of chafe on. So I'm going to move away from that and go with these Synflex plastic hose. Cheaper. I can keep this with me, keep spare roll of this with me. And if it does chafe, you know, I can just swap a piece out. But to be honest, it's a lot smaller, and I can probably tuck it in behind stuff and probably won't chafe. So what we've got to do, well, the issue is I had to, before I could do that, I've got to swap these out. That originally was there, but as you can see, totally different fittings, not sure what they're called, but took that off. And then I was hoping that I could use these pushing ones, but I got this adapter because they didn't have any. Well, that's that one. They didn't have anything in 1/8, so I had to get best I could do was a quarter and then a 1/8 a quarter to 1/8 adapter, but it's bringing it down too far. And for this valve it will be okay, because when I drop this lid down, it doesn't interfere with anything down there. But the problem is that the sliding fifth wheel slider valve is right above a terminal, which I've covered with tape. And there's some live terminals there, and not only are they live, but it's no doubt that plastic pipe is going to be closer down, it'll chafe or could just snap. So what I'm going to do is, I bought these, but they're not pushing, they're olives, but at least they'll be a lot closer up there. So that's the plan. Shit. So try and angle it so it's all going in the right direction. So the feed's going to come, I guess the feed will still come from down there, run up like that into there, come out from there. I'll angle it round so it goes into that side, comes out and then comes up to the there. Right, just pause it a minute. Right, it's going to be a gush of air now. So take this off. Here we go. Right, so that's all the air evacuated out of the system. I just got to take the bottom end off from the main supply source. It's 9/16 spanner, so just put that on there. And once you broke it free, you can just do it with your fingers. Can't see fuck all because my hand's in the way. Just pause it. Right, so that's totally loosened. Going to just pull it out the way. And see, there's a nice 90-degree bend on there. It's a shame really because this is a good pipe, so be able to use this for something else in the future, no doubt. Now what I've got to go down there is a straight, then that'll just bolt in place of the fitting that's in there at the moment, which is that one just there. So I've got to get that out next, which will probably be fun. I'll have to put a 12-point ring on that, but that it should come out easy because I remember actually putting that fitting in. So just pause the camera again. Right, so it's a 7/16 ring. Well, it's a 7/16. I'll put a ring spanner on it, so hopefully should be able to turn that. The whole valve system's moving. What the fuck? Oh, I'm gonna have to pause it a minute. Yeah, I must have been mistaken when I said I'd put this in myself because it took some right strength to get it to budge, but it's coming out now. But there's a lot of blanked off fittings on here with little brass caps on, so maybe I'll just remove the cap and went straight off the fitting that was already there since 1978. That's why it was stiff to come out. It's been there for 45 years. 46 years. I don't know. Don't even know. I was born in 79, this was made in 76, I'm 45. Yeah, so this is 46-year-old lorry. 46-year-old truck and still going strong. Oh, bugger. Look what I've done. I've just realised I've just found that. Shit, so that means the olives dropped out. Oh, shit, there it is. That's the problem with this thing down here. Once you drop something down here, you'll lose it. It's something tiny like that. Put that to one side. Just pause it a minute. Right, it's coming now by finger. There it is. That's what we've took out, and this is what we're putting in. Straight. So I'll just thread that in, and then that plastic Synflex pipe will just push it and out then. No need to take this out ever again. The only downside is if the plastic pipe does burst, I've got no way of capping it where, like I say, you can put brass caps on that. But the, you know, worst case scenario, you can always kink the Synflex over and just cable tie it down, or zip tie it down. Right, so let's put this in now. Right, that's almost in. Just tighten it up with the spanner or the wrench. In the UK we call this a spanner. People of England, in America, this is called a wrench. Little lesson of the day there. Right, so I've got that fitted in, so I'm going to just shove the plastic pipe in now, or the Synflex pipe. I think it's called Synflex. Whatever, just call it plastic pipe. Come on. Right, that's in. Now I'm going to feed it so it goes like that, and then like that. No, I'm not. Pull that out for a minute. Put that back in there. Like that. Yes, I know you can get proper cutters for this, but Stanley knife will do the job. As long as you don't fucking do it like that. So now just feed it back through these wires. So I don't know whether, I don't know whether I should go through these bunch of wires, because it might cause the wires to come disconnected. I don't know. No, I'm happy with that. Pull it out. Fuck it. Pause it, because this is getting shit. Right, I've threaded it through as best I can. Time will tell whether it's gonna chafe on anything else. But like I say, you can just replace a plastic pipe. It's no big deal. So we put the cap on first, then put the olive on. And I can't get the olive on now because the Stanley knife has squished the plastic pipe. There it is. And then we just slip the pipe over the fitting, push it up as far as you can, slide the olive up, and then slide the cap on, and then as you tighten that down, it crushes that olive and it pinches the plastic pipe onto that tube that I push the pipe over, and it holds it in place and seals it down. Like I said, it'd been better if I could have put pushing ones. At a later date I could buy a new, you know, a new fitting with pushing and just swap it out. And now we tighten that up. And if I was to start the engine now and let the air build up, air will start coming up through, and it'll start coming through there. So until I get this side, you know, cap where it meets the window switch, that's where it caps off, because it's a dead end. So if I went from there to there now, this would work and the window would work, but obviously the sliding fifth wheel still wouldn't work. So the next step is to now go from, where are we? The next step is to now go from there round to there. Well, so now we've just got to reassemble the fittings that go inside there, and all that's in there is this little plastic cap and this spring, and the cap goes on top of the spring, that goes up inside, and then this holds it all in place. So hopefully I can put it in without dropping anything. It's a bit awkward. Here it is. Hopefully that little cap is sitting nice and neat inside. And so now we've got to try and angle that so the pipe is going to meet up with it. So like that. Right. Right, so that is the diff lock linked. Diff lock's got a feed to it, and it's linked up to the sliding fifth wheel. But like I say, the circuit is still open, because if I build the air up, it's just going to rush straight out. So the final step is to link there up to, where's it gone? Up to there, which is the window switch. So we're going from there up to there, and then the circuit is complete. So I've just got to back this 90-degree fitting out. I think I need to just pull that pipe out of the way. I might take them both out, to be honest. It's coming out by finger. And I have checked, I have got the correct fitting for this. This will be an easy one. So just going to go with a 90-degree pushing. No need for PTF because it's already on there. Okay, so just thread that in. Lovely jubbly. And it's even a swivel, which makes things a lot easier. That should be 7/16. Yep. So, pop the white pipe back in, and then the black one. And now I just need to link the last part up. So same again, I've got the olive on, got the cap on. Slip it over the pipe or over the tube. Slide the cap down and just screw it down. Right, so that's connected, so just the last one, and then the circuit is complete, and we can build up the pressure and hopefully nothing leaks and it all works. And just push that in. That's it, locked in. So that's it, done. Right, ready to fire it up. Neutral, ignition, start button, and there's your air pressure. Yeah, so as you can see and hear, airline popped off. And do you know why? Because I've forgotten to tighten that. So just let the air die down. Makes a right row when the bloody airline pops off. But yeah, stupid idiot, I forgot to bloody... I thought the pressure had popped it off, but then I realised no, it wouldn't do that. Then I noticed that I hadn't screwed it down, so I screwed it on, but I hadn't screwed it down for the olive to crush. So now we're getting there, it's crushing it down now. Still ain't got a bloody GoPro camera, so Sorry if my hand keeps getting in the way of the camera lens. Still recording everything off my phone. Right, so that was a waste of diesel. So start it up again, build the air up again, neutral, ignition, start. Yeah, you can see going up straight away. So that orange indicator is the secondary air tank. That's the primary air tank. So I'll just let the air pressure build right up to 120, and then when we hit 120 you should hear the air dryer blow off. So we're getting there now, so should hear a big rush of air. Here it comes. And that's it. So now we've got full pressure, and then we're going to just give every little pipe a wiggle and listen for air leaks. So all these lines are now under full, this line is under full 120 pressure, and it's holding, and it's holding down there as well, and then the pressure's coming out from there, it's holding there, it is down there, give it a good pull, nothing. The only thing that's loose is the actual fitting itself. I can turn the whole lot, but that's not a problem. I can always turn it to the right and tighten it. And just nothing there, and nothing there. Right. So I'll just drop that lid down a minute. Right, the big test. First we'll test the window, right? Down. Yes, perfect. Lovely jubbly. Sounds like it needs some oil, but apart from that, it's working. Now the diff lock, and we'll hear that click. Yeah, do you hear that click? And then I'll click it off. Yeah, I'll put the camera outside for that. Yeah. Tell you what, I'll put the camera on the diff itself. Right, so what that switch is doing is it's pushing a plunger on the side of the differential, the main diff. I've only got one diff lock, and it's this diff. And that air switch sends a feed straight to this, and it's a bit like a brake chamber, like that. Pushes a plunger out, there's a spring that pulls it back, and gets inside the differential there. It locks the axle as one. So if I just leave the camera down on the floor and then go and press it, should have a bit of a click. It won't engage fully because you have to move the vehicle a bit, but you should still hear a click. So I think that worked, but well, I know it's working, so whatever. And now the last test is the fifth wheel slider. First we'll test it in the cab. Yeah, I fucking heard it. Shit, see all that dust come out there? You can tell how long that's been locked for. But I'll put the camera on the fifth wheel itself so you can see what it should or what it is doing. And hey, that switch sends a feed to this outlet, and just there's a big piston. When the air goes to it, it pushes apart. And it's got these locks and these grooves, so these teeth. That big lock will pop out, same the other side. Once it pops out, you can slide the fifth wheel up and down, but you've got to be coupled up to a trailer. You'll never pull it by hand. So I'll leave this in place, and then again initiate the switch, and should see that lock pop out. Yep, it works. I'll fix some at long last.